Okay, I have our book.
Oh, there's nobody standing near us. So I'm just gonna take off my mask so people can hear me.
Josh,
I mean, it's not appropriate. I don't know.
Jonah, does your father wear a mask when he's doing this? Yeah.
Doesn't wear a mask? Okay.
We'll just take it off.
I mean, everybody.
Just don't come near us. We are actually safe, but that's right. Well, I've had COVID and I've been vaccinated and I've had 3 Moderna shots.
I had COVID and I've had 3 Pfizer shots.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? What time is it?
I have no idea. What time is it?
Oh,
it's 6:01. It's time for us to think about this. So let's get organized and start. Once we get to the right place, I have to get to the right place. Where is Lakota?
Well, we go to 130 first.
You are a gem among sons. Yes.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bim. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. And we'll turn to page 131 and sing one of our usual psalms for the day. Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Kadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Kadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Kasru Miyom Le'yom, Yeshuato. Shiru Adonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Kasru Miyom Le'yom, Yeshuato. Shall we make it short and go to Lakado D?
I'll leave it up to you.
We'll get to make it short and go to Lakado D on page 138. Every other verse, as usual. Sing it with feeling. And on the last verse, we bow in that direction to the coming of the Sabbath bride, except she's already arrived. Lakado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Lakado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmianu el meyukad Adonai echad ushmo echad Shemu tiferet v'lihi tila Lechado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Lechado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Nikdash melech yumelucha kumi tzigi mitokafecha Kabbalat Shabbat be'emek habaka v'hu yachavo alayhi emla Lechado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Lechado di likrat kala yababai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela Itoreri, kiva ore ekumi uri, shirareri, kevod Adonai alayhi Lechadodi likakala yamavai 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 Neshabbat Nekabela Vahayu limshisa Shebo sai Berakaku kol valai Yasi salai Elohai Kinsos katana kala Lechadodi likakala yamavai 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 Neshabbat Nekabela Lechadodi likakala yamavai 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 Neshabbat Nekabela Goi v'shalom v'teret v'ala Gam l'simcha u'v'tovola Tov emunei am segula Goi kala Lechadodi likakala yamavai 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 Neshabbat Nekabela Lechadodi likakala yamavai 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 Neshabbat Nekabela. Perhaps we turn to page, what is it, 263.
So on page 263, Hatsikara.
Such a useful child.
Yidkada v'yidkada shemei rabba Be'amadi brachot heviam lichmachute Bechaye konu yom echon Uchaye dekol beit Yisrael Bahagala Uvizman kariv Imru amen Yeheshmei rabba mevorach Le'olam ve'elmaya yitbarach Yitbarach yishtabach Yitbarach yamam yaseh V'yithador v'yithalev v'yithalal Shmei kodesh averichu Le'olam min kol berakata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata Damihiran le'alma V'imru amen. These guys? La 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 I'm going to read the next one in English. Please be seated and I'll read the next one in English. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ariv Aravim, Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amkavta, Torah u'mitzvot hukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Alken Adonai Eloheinu, Shokbeinu v'kumenu, Nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu, ve'orei melech yameinu, uvahemne ega, yomam v'layla. They have to come. Baruch atah Adonai, Oheva Mo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malachuto, Leolam Vaed.
Page 268.
Page 268. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'kol levavcha, v'kol nafshecha, v'kol me'odecha, v'hayu hadabarim ha'ela, asher anoki mitzavaka, hayom lavavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivteka b'veitecha, v'lechtecha havaderech, v'shovbeka uvekumecha, Ukshar yadecha, v'hayula totavot beinenecha, utavtam abazut beitecha, uvisharecha. Man tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim lelechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiod lachem l'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohim. I'm going to begin on page 269, a little bit earlier than the rabbi usually does. When will redemption come? We grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malakuta karavu vaneka, V'ke'ayam lifnei Moshe, Eli anu v'amaru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'nehmaki v'adonai Yaakov, v'nehmenu, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. In English. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence, we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Sukat Shalom Aleinu v'Kol Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And
page 272.
272, the first song. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Masot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolah. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Masot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolah. V'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Masot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam beritolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai Hashemayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasotet Shabbat Ledoratam Baritolam. Uvayom Hashvi Shabbat Vainafash Shabbat Vainafash Vishamru B'nai Israel Et Shabbat Lasotet Shabbat Ledoratam Baritolam. And now we begin the tefillah. Please, guys. Please rise. Adonai Sefatati Taku Fia Gita Hilatecha.
Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai,
Eloheinu v'Eloheinu
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Zekonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasei Avot B'imahot, V'mevei Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shelo Be'ahava. Melech Chazer, Mashiach Magi. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Tarav L'Hoshiach Marif HaRuach U'Nurit Hagah Hashem Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Sohomech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mochaval Kefurot Umidomela Melech Memit U'Mekayem U'Matzmiach Yeshua B'Ramanot HaMachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol.
You are holy, your name is holy. And those who are holy praise you every day.
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
And you may continue silently until the prayer for peace, which we will all sing together. Tell me when you get there. I'm going to read one thing in between and then we'll do Shalom Rav. Okay, point of personal privilege. I'm going to read one of the bits in between in English and then we'll sing Shalom Rav. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Shalom Rahav 282. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahava Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam V'tov Beinecha Levarech Et Amka Yisrael B'kol Eitu V'kol Shah Bishlomecha Shalom Rahava Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam Shalom Rahava Yisrael Amka Tasim Leolam Baruch atah Adonai Amvarech Amo Yisrael Bashalom. A moment for silent prayer on your own, or you can read the words on page 283, which are traditional. I'm gonna do this. Iule ratsom, Ifilegion libi, lefanecha, Adonai, Tzuri vegoali. Adonai, Tzuri vegoali. Adonai, Tzuri vegoali. Oseh shalom bimramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. So now, we've arrived at the moment of, let's see, prayer of healing first, then my sermon lit.
Well, then good things.
Yeah, the
then
good
your
things,
sermon.
then my sermon lit. Yes, 371. I have him to keep me on the straight and narrow. So on page 371,
So does anybody have names of anybody who's
we should mention
ill?
David Salzberg.
David Salzberg, yes.
Anybody else need to be mentioned? Anybody on the Zoom that we should mention?
Who prays for healing? Oh, you should say the name out loud. So that people-
Kaya Gordon. Who else? Lori and Lawrence. Okay, I'm not sure you got the name right.
I don't actually know his last name, but Tom.
Tom.
He has COVID.
Yeah. For these,
I guess my fellow, he's also got COVID.
yes. Well, I have a friend named Michelle who has COVID, so I will. So,
I'm sure he's singing.
Misha Berak Avotenu Makor Harakali Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berak Imotenu Makor Habrakaha Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. please to mention.
Well, my paper wasn't rejected. I just have to have a lot of work to do to get it published.
I made my paycheck this week. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to bless Sabbath candles. Man so seldom gets to do that.
Yeah, my mother's out of town.
Well, that's on the other hand scale. We don't-
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I'm saying that's why.
Yes, that's
Oh,
why.
I got invited to the Boise Philharmonic tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, and I'm making a public appearance without a mask
Feels good.
on. I'm miles away from everybody, but. Okay, so now my, so the subject of my sermon is not nice. This is not a nice sermon. I was in a bad mood when I went to read this. Our portion is Bo. It contains the plague of locusts, the plague of darkness, the slaying of the firstborn, and the institution of the Passover holiday. The thing I'm going to talk about is very specific. And it has, well, part of it is I just read this and I said, wow. Because of course I've read it before. These are familiar texts, but it's nonetheless, now if I can find it, it's Exodus 11, verse 5. I'm going to read. Moses said, "Thus says the Lord, toward midnight I will go forth among the Egyptians, and every firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sits on his throne, to the firstborn of the slave girl who is behind the millstones, and all the firstborn of the cattle." So what strikes me is, what has the slave girl behind the millstones or her child done to deserve this? Please pause for a moment and think about that. That's really the burden of my sermon. Think about all the people who were on the wrong side, who are ground up in the mills of history. Children who died incinerated in the firebombing of German and Japanese cities in World War II, which was a just war. Nonetheless, they were innocent. So give a thought to the slave girl behind the millstone and her child. Bear that in mind as we go on into the week. I hope I don't darken the dark turning of the year more than necessary with this thought, but it's not only positive, fluffy thoughts that we should think, that we should speak from the Bema, but everything that's to be found in the text. So on page 586.
It would help if you were in the right book.
Well, yeah, it would help if I were in the right book. Page 586 of this book, God only knows what I find. Okay. Might be fun to go and find out and then read it.
So 586, Elaine, please guys.
He's so useful.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, atet gedolah letzer bereshit, shelo asar kekei haratzot, lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kekol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, umishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malkei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's go all the way.
Uno teshamayim ve'yotzed haaretz, u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim imal, u'shchinatu zo, v'gofer meromim, hu Eloheinu enod, emet malkeinu efetzulato, kakatu b'torato, Bidat hayom, b'shavota elamaka. Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mimal, ve'al haaretz mihi tachatenu.
Nehemar, Haya Adonai, Lamelech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
We think of our loved ones whose death has recently taken from us, those who have died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into hearts together with our own. Do we have any names? I don't think we have a list.
I don't think we have a list. If anyone wishes to mention a name, if any names are being mentioned in the Zoom chat. Meyer Pesach Goldberg. Hilda Dornfast. Anybody else?
Barbara Zalucci, Hilda Dornfest.
Barbara, what's the name again? DeLucci and Hilda Dornfest again. Doubly remembered. So all of those who have mourners and those whose custom it is to do so may stand for Mourners Kaddish. Yit Kadal, Ve'Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'almad Devarach Yote, Ve'amlich Malchute, V'Kayachon of Yom Echon of Kayed Kol Beit Israel, V'Aglav Isman Kariv Ve'Emru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mavorach Le'alma Me'al Maya, Yitbarak V'Yishtabak V'Yipar V'Yitman V'Yitnaseh, V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shemedu Kudashah Beriku, Ve'ila Min Kol Birakata V'Ashirata, Tushbakata V'Nechamata, Damaran Be'amar V'Emru Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael V'Emru Amen. Osei Shalom B'Mramav, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael V'Emru Amen.
Zikonam Lavacha, may their memories be for a blessing.
Okay, and
Announcements. We have no announcements.
we have no announcements.
Does anybody have any announcements? I believe Saturday morning services are at 10:30. Is that correct?
I have no idea. I haven't a clue.
10.
10.
Sorry, 10, not 10:30.
We don't want people to be left all alone who are leading Saturday morning services. It's not a scheme we have. So, Josh, do you have a tune in mind to sing a Don Alum to?
I'm fine with the traditional one.
Okay. He has lots of tunes to sing a Don Alum to.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll do the regular one. Adon Alum Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'nasa B'kefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'achare Yichlot HaKol, Levahado Yimlok Nora, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hoveh, Vehu Yihaya Bativara, Vehu Echad Vein Sheni, Laham Shilo Lahak Bira, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Velo Haoz V'Hamizra, Vehu Eli, V'Chai Goali, V'Tzur Kebli Be'et Sarah, Vehu Nisi Uman Husli, Manat Kosi B'Yom Ekra, Be'ahado Afkid Ruki, Be'tishan Va'ira, V'imruki Gaviati, Adonai Li Belo Ira.
Shabbat Shalom.